Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds bilateral talks with US President Donald Trump in New York. The leaders hold a long discussion on terrorism and trade issues. President Trump says Prime Minister Modi has given a loud and clear message to Pakistan. Also says there will be an Indo-US trade deal very soon. Prime Minister Modi participates in the Forum of Indo-Pacific Islands Cooperation Plurilateral meeting, says will also inaugurate the Gandhi Solar Park at the United Nations headquarters. Prime Minister to be conferred upon with the Global Goalkeeper Award for spearheading the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. The government has constructed over 10 crore toilets since 2014. Almost 6 lakh villages are now open defecation free. At least 19 people killed and over 300 injured in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir in an earthquake. The 5.8 magnitude quake also jolted several cities in northern Pakistan, including capital Islamabad. The epicenter of the quake was in New Mirpur in POK. The doyen of modern Indian cinema, Amitabh Bachchan, selected unanimously for the Dala Saheb Phalke Award, India's highest award in cinema. IND Minister Prakash Javadekar took to Twitter to make the announcement. And in international news, the British Supreme Court rules Boris Johnson's decision to suspend Parliament unlawful. The court says it was wrong to stop Parliament carrying out its duties. Johnson had suspended or prorogued the Parliament for 5 weeks earlier this month. Hello and welcome to the news at this hour. I'm Amritpal Singh. First up, our big story about the Prime Minister's visit to the United States. Prime Minister Narendra Modi met US President Donald Trump on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly session in New York. The meeting comes days after both leaders shared a stage in Houston during Howdy Modi event. The two leaders discussed issues related to trade between India and the United States. This was the fourth meeting between the two leaders after Prime Minister Narendra Modi's re-election in May this year. The two leaders also met on the sidelines of G20 and G7 meetings. During the meeting, the two leaders held discussions on combating terrorism and trade ties between India and the United States. Speaking to the media, US President Donald Trump expressed hope that the two countries will soon have a trade deal and an even larger one.
Well, I think very soon. We're doing very well, and Bob Lighthizer, who's right here, was negotiating with India, and they're very capable representatives, and I think very soon we'll have a trade deal. We'll have the larger deal down the road a little bit, but we will have a trade deal very soon.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi said he expressed his gratitude to President Trump for sharing the stage with him during the Howdy Modi event.
मैं राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप का बहुत आभारी हूं कि ह्यूस्टन समय निकाल करके आए, काफी समय दिया और अमेरिका में रहने वाले भारतीयों के लिए ये बहुत ही गर्व का अवसर था और मैं इसके लिए राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप का हृदय से बहुत-बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूं.
The Prime Minister underlined the strengthening of ties between India and the United States. He said that India and the US share a very strong friendship, and the series of meetings between him and President Trump in 2019 is a reflection of that.
हमारी नई सरकार बनने के बाद अभी 4 महीने भी नहीं हुए हैं, लेकिन मुझे राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप के साथ 3 बार मिलकर के अनेक विषयों पर बातचीत करने का अवसर मिला है. दुनिया का सबसे पुराना लोकतंत्र और दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा लोकतंत्र, इसके बीच इस प्रकार की निकटता, सहजता और लगातार एंगेजमेंट, ये लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों में विश्वास करने वाले विश्व के लिए एक बहुत ही शुभ संकेत है. भारत अमेरिका बहुत ही घनिष्ठ मित्र है और मूल्यों के आधार पर हमारी मित्रता हमेशा आगे बढ़ती चली जा रही है।
The Prime Minister also spoke about the MOU between India and the United States in the field of oil and energy.
जहां तक ट्रेड का सवाल है, मुझे खुशी है कि मैं जब परसों ह्यूस्टन में था तो हमारे पेट्रोनेट ने वहां पर $2.5 बिलियन के इन्वेस्टमेंट के साथ एनर्जी सेक्टर में इन्वेस्टमेंट का MOU किया है और उसका परिणाम ये होगा कि आने वाले कुछ दशक में करीब $60 बिलियन का ट्रेड और करीब 50,000 लोगों के लिए जॉब। तो अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा इनिशिएटिव भारत ने लिया है। राष्ट्रपति ट्रम्प मेरे तो मित्र है ही है, लेकिन भारत के बहुत एक अच्छे मित्र के रूप में आज भारत और अमेरिका बहुत तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहे हैं।
In another endorsement to India's stand on Jammu and Kashmir, US President Donald Trump expressed hope that India and Pakistan will be able to resolve their issues bilaterally and peacefully.
Between the oldest and the largest democracy,
Well, I had a very good meeting with Prime Minister Khan. It was a long meeting and we discussed a lot, and I think he'd like to see something happen that would be very fruitful, very peaceful, and I think that will happen ultimately. I really believe that these two great gentlemen will get together and work something, but I really believe that Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Khan, they get along, they will get along when they get to know each other, and I think a lot of good things will come from that meeting. And it would be great if they could work out something on Kashmir. We all want to see that.
not only are we ready
The US President also acknowledged Prime Minister Modi's strong message to Pakistan on the issue of terrorism.
between the oldest and the largest.
I mean, the message is not for me to give, it's for Prime Minister Modi to give, and I think he gave that loud and clear on the other day when we were together. He gave a pretty loud message, and I'm sure he'll be able to handle that situation.
How do you see the statement coming from the Pakistani Prime Minister admitting that the Pakistani state, the ISI, trained Al-Qaeda?
I know this, that your Prime Minister will take care of it. Now, look, you have a great Prime Minister, he'll solve the problem. I have no doubt about it.
Completed 4 months.
Donald Trump also praised Prime Minister Modi and his leadership. Heaping praise on Prime Minister Modi, Trump said that he has united India like a father.
Personal chemistry is as good as it can get. I have great respect, I have great admiration, and I really like him. That's another thing. And he's a great gentleman and a great leader. And I remember India before, now not intimately, but I remember India before, and it was very torn. There was a lot of dissension, a lot of fighting, and he brought it all together. Like a father would bring it together. And maybe he's the father of India. We'll call him the father of India. I think that's not so bad. But he brought things together, and you don't hear that anymore. So I think he's done a fantastic job, and I think that what the event showed is how much I like the country of India, and how much I like your Prime Minister. There was tremendous spirit in that room too, and they love this gentleman to my right. They really do. Those people went crazy. That was like Elvis. That was like an American. He's like an American version of Elvis. That was like we brought in the middle of an all-American deal. Elvis Presley came back. No, he was. That was quite something. They love your Prime Minister. It's a great thing.
And addressing the media later after the meeting on the Prime Minister's bilateral meeting with the US President, Foreign Secretary Vijay Gokhale said that Prime Minister Modi told the US President that India has never shied away from talks with Pakistan, but that country needs to take concrete steps on terrorism, which it doesn't seem to be taking.
We have faced on terrorism, and particularly terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir over the last 30 years. Prime Minister underscored to President Trump that 42,000 lives have been lost to terror attacks in the last 30 years, and that it is incumbent on the international community to join together to fight this scourge of terrorism. Also explained that we have never shied away from talking to Pakistan. However, we expect that overtures that Prime Minister has made over the years ought to have been reciprocated, and none of them have been reciprocated. Beginning with Prime Minister's invitation at the oath-taking ceremony, and then, as Prime Minister said, his unique and trip to Lahore in December 2015 with minimum security.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi presented a framed photograph from the Howdy Modi event in Houston to US President Donald Trump. President Trump thanked Prime Minister Modi for the gesture. Howdy Modi event took place on the 22nd of September in Houston. The event saw the two world leaders sharing the stage to address a gathering of over 50,000 American Indians. And Prime Minister Modi also addressed the third FIPIC meeting, or the Pacific Islands countries meeting, on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly session in New York. In his address, Prime Minister Modi hailed the friendly ties between India and the Pacific Islands. The meeting was attended by the heads of delegation of Fiji, Papua New Guinea, independent state of Samoa, Solomon Islands, Republic of Vanuatu.
सभी पीसीएस देशों के साथ भारत के मैत्रीपूर्ण संबंध है। हम एक दूसरे के विकास में महत्वपूर्ण साझेदार हैं। भारत इन देशों के बीच 2 समिट मीटिंग्स आयोजित हो चुकी है। इस मुलाकात के जरिए हम अपनी पार्टनरशिप को और बढ़ाने पर चर्चा करेंगे।
So this meeting attended by 12 of the 14 Pacific Island nations, and also of course India. This is a meeting, this is what you heard Prime Minister speak at that meeting, giving his opening remarks. The meeting is still currently on. The Prime Minister is participating in that meeting to work out a collective agenda, a forward-looking agenda based on collective aspirations and challenges facing these Pacific Island nations. There are 14 in total, 12 are participating apart from India. We'll have to wait and see what the outcome of that is, but it is moving towards a collective responsibility. This is the third meeting of the FIPIC, which now the Prime Minister is attending currently in New York on the sidelines of the UNGA. And after that, the Prime Minister will inaugurate the Gandhi Solar Park, and he will later receive the prestigious Goalkeepers Award by the Bill Melinda Gates Foundation for his contribution towards cleanliness and spreading awareness on the issue. In a solemn tribute to Mahatma Gandhi on its 150th anniversary, India has achieved the goal of becoming open defecation free. The Government of India's flagship program, Swachh Bharat mission, has achieved a new milestone with making India open defecation free. In a befitting tribute to Mahatma Gandhi, India becomes open defecation free after 70 years of independence. It all began in 2014 when Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the Swachh Bharat mission as a nationwide campaign for promoting cleanliness, hygiene and sanitation. The movement launched by the Prime Minister has successfully achieved its goals, fulfilling the dream of Bapu.
महात्मा गांधी हिंदुस्तान के हर गली मोहल्ले में सफाई करने के लिए नहीं गए थे, लेकिन सफाई की उनकी प्रतिबद्धता ने पूरे हिंदुस्तान में सफाई के प्रति एक जागरूकता पैदा की थी। महात्मा गांधी को हमें कुछ तो देना चाहिए। 2019 में जब गांधी के 150 वर्ष होते हैं, तब हमें स्वच्छ भारत, क्लीन इंडिया की सफलता इसमें है कि 1.25 करोड़ देशवासी इसमें जुड़े।
Prime Minister Modi's efforts to make cleanliness a mass movement will receive global accolades when he receives the prestigious Goalkeepers Award by Bill Melinda Gates Foundation. Swachh Bharat movement has been lauded globally with special mentions about Prime Minister Modi's leadership. Launched in 2014 by Prime Minister Modi with the vision of achieving Swachh Bharat by October 2nd, 2019, the campaign became a people's movement. Since 2014, the government has constructed over 10 crore toilets. Around 6 lakh villages across 699 districts are now open defecation free. The journey of Swachh Bharat continues to set new goals for itself and achieve new heights. It now focuses on the management of dry and wet waste plastic waste management. Prime Minister Modi recently announced a mission to eradicate single-use plastic by 2022. Cleanliness is a habit, and Prime Minister Modi knows just that. Leading by example, Prime Minister Modi bent to pick up a flower which fell from the bouquet presented to him as he landed in Houston. In April 2017 too, he was seen putting ribbon and paper into his pocket at a book launch rather than leaving it for others to dispose of. Bureau Report, DD News. And as I said earlier, the Prime Minister would be inaugurating the Gandhi Solar Park, or the Mahatma Gandhi Solar Park, which as the world celebrates Bapu's 150th birth anniversary. India has gifted 193 solar panels to the United Nations, one for each member state for the rooftop of the UN headquarters, which is now going to be the Gandhi Solar Park. There are more details in this report. Take a look.
We are standing on the roof of the UN headquarters in New York. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Gandhi Solar Park here. It is for the first time that solar energy is being produced at the UN headquarters in New York. 193 solar panels are installed here. They represent 193 member states of the United Nations. India has extended a grant of $1 million for the Gandhi Solar Park, which shows India's commitment to the use of renewable energy.
The solar panel and green roof project is a symbol of India's green presence at the United Nations. Every year, the solar panels will produce 84,244 kilowatt hours of solar power, which equals carbon sequestered from 1,000 tree seedlings grown over 10 years. Mahatma Gandhi led a life of minimum carbon footprint, and the Gandhi Solar Park is a tribute to him on his 150th birth anniversary year.
We are celebrating the 150th anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi at the United Nations next week. We thought it appropriate that we should do an action-oriented gift that should be present to the United Nations, a gift that also reflects Mahatma Gandhi's commitment to sustainability, to environment. We began this process almost a year ago. We are glad that we completed it in time. It's a tangible contribution, but also a symbol of how we are looking forward to playing a very constructive role with the United Nations on issues of renewables and climate action in a tangible manner.
After the International Solar Alliance, the Gandhi Solar Park is India's second big impact solar energy initiative with a green message for the world. But India's Solar Connect with the United Nations is an old one.
Surya, or solar, has a specific connotation in Indian tradition. It's not only a source of energy, but it's the source of life itself. We still have that reverence for solar, and that's why when we gifted to the United Nations, we also gifted a 1,000-year-old statue which reflects the sun god Surya.
Sources have told DD News that India's solar initiative at the UN is just the beginning, and the Sun Connect between India and UN will only grow stronger with time. With camera persons Loknath and Praveen Johar, Munmun Bhattacharya, DD News, New York.
Okay, news from back home. Veteran actor Amitabh Bachchan has been named for the prestigious Dada Saheb Phalke Award for his outstanding contribution to the film industry. In a tweet, Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said that the legend, who entertained and inspired for 2 generations, has been unanimously selected for the award. The minister said that the entire country and the international community is happy over his selection. Javadekar also congratulated the veteran actor. The award is conferred upon by the Government of India for outstanding contribution to the growth and development of Indian cinema. It consists of a Swarn Kamal and a cash prize of 10 lakh rupees. The 76-year-old screen icon who rose to stardom with his angry young man persona, capturing the anger of the younger generation in the 1970s with films such as Zanjeer, Devar and Sholay, continues to be a force to reckon with in Indian cinema. In a career spanning 5 decades, Bachchan has given memorable performances, film after film, and is a 4-time National Film Award winner. And in some big news coming in from the United States, U.S. Democrats have opened a formal impeachment inquiry into President Donald Trump over claims that he sought political help from Ukraine. The decision by top Democrat Nancy Pelosi follows growing demands from her party. Trump has denied impropriety but has acknowledged discussing political rival Joe Biden with Ukrainian president. The U.S. president has no U.S. president has been ever removed from office by impeachment.
The actions of the Trump presidency revealed the dishonorable fact of the president's betrayal of his oath of office, betrayal of our national security, and betrayal of the integrity of our elections. Therefore, today, I'm announcing the House of Representatives moving forward with an official impeachment inquiry. I'm directing our 6 committees to proceed with their investigations under that umbrella of impeachment inquiry.
And former Vice President Joseph R. Biden, or Joe Biden Jr., called on Tuesday for impeachment proceedings against President Trump if the president does not comply with the congressional request for information related to Ukraine and other investigations. He called on the Congress to demand that Mr. Trump provide a copy of the complaint made by a federal whistleblower, and said that if the president refused to do so, impeachment would be the only remedy.
If we allow a president to get away with shredding the United States Constitution, that will last forever. Too many people, too many good, decent people have taken an oath to this nation and given their lives over the past 243 years to let that happen. Too many people are serving this nation right now and honoring the oath they've taken to let that happen. This isn't a Democratic issue or Republican issue. It is a national issue. It is a security issue. And it's time for this administration to stop stonewalling and provide the Congress with all the facts it needs, including a copy of the formal complaint made by the whistleblower. And it's time for the Congress to fully investigate the conduct of this president.
And Britain's Supreme Court has ruled that Prime Minister Boris Johnson acted unlawfully in suspending Parliament in the run-up to Brexit, in a stunning blow that sparked immediate calls for him to resign. The 11 judges of the country's highest court were unanimous in their verdict, which they said meant Parliament could now be immediately reconvened. Johnson had argued that shutting down of the Parliament until October 14th was a routine move to allow his new government to set out a new legislative program. House of Commons Speaker John Bercow welcomed the ruling and said that the House of Commons will reconvene on Wednesday.
The Court is bound to conclude, therefore, that the decision to advise Her Majesty to prorogue Parliament was unlawful, because it had the effect of frustrating or preventing the ability of Parliament to carry out its constitutional functions without reasonable justification. Parliament has not been prorogued. This is the unanimous judgment of all 11 justices. It is for Parliament, and in particular the Speaker and the Lord Speaker, to decide what to do next.
All right, news just coming in from my correspondent, my colleague Arun Sharma, who's reporting on the Prime Minister's visit from New York. The FIPIC meeting in which Prime Minister Narendra Modi was participating along with 12 other nations is over now. It's concluded. We'll have to see what transpired there once the joint communique is out. But we've heard the opening statement of the Prime Minister. So that meeting, which was currently on in New York, has just ended on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly meeting. At least 26 people were killed and more than 300 others were injured in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir on Tuesday after a 5.8 magnitude quake jolted several cities in the northern parts of the country, including capital Islamabad. According to U.S. Geological Survey, the epicenter of the quake was near New Mirpur in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Pakistan Meteorological Department earthquake said that the 5.8 magnitude earthquake was located near the city of Jhelum in Punjab province. Its depth was at 10 kilometers. And that's it then in this newscast. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.